Dangerous. Sharks have fascinated us for a long time. They are creatures feared, revered, respected, and also avoided. So when we see one at sea, clearly in danger, we end up not knowing what to do. When this giant shark was discovered by fishermen, they quickly realized something was wrong. The animal moved extremely slowly and had a giant, unnatural bulge inside. The fishermen debated what they could and should do to help the poor dying animal, ultimately agreeing to cut the predator open to discover the cause of the strange bulge. The unfolding dilemma raises questions about human intervention and the delicate balance between observing nature and stepping in to aid a creature in distress. No one could believe that a shark of this size could be so close to shore. However, when the fishermen saw what was inside, they were shocked. It was unusual for a shark of this size to move towards the shore. The animal was still alive when they found it, and as scary as it was, they knew they still had to do something to help it. This shark had to be cut open, because there was clearly something in its stomach that shouldn't be there. It could mean the difference between his life and his death. When the veterinarian finally arrived on the scene, he quickly administered a sedative to the shark. The animal was in danger and almost lifeless, but its teeth were large and sharp. It would be better to be careful.
Oh my God!
It wasn't the first time the vet had performed such a procedure. But he was still nervous. He was not in his trusted clinic. Instead, he was out in the open, in the elements, by an unknown sea. Anything can happen here. When the veterinarian carefully opened the shark's enormous bulge, its contents were immediately revealed. Everyone was speechless. How was this possible? For several months, fishing in the Gulf Stream has been underway. Fishermen have worked hard to ensure they catch enough to satisfy customers. But it hasn't always been easy. The situation was becoming more and more difficult. This has been a slow and quite tiring process for the fishermen. The sea was dangerous, the weather capricious, and they always worried about sharks. Circumventing these predators significantly slowed their progress. But there was one thing that worried them the most: fishermen are far behind, putting all their jobs at risk. The boss even considered firing the fishermen. The fishermen knew they had to work as hard as they could, especially after the boss gave them an ultimatum. A day like any other, the fishermen went fishing in the morning, tired and exhausted after working the day before. Suddenly, one of the fishermen stops and steps back. There was something in the sea, and it scared him so much that he almost fell off the boat. It was a shark, but not just any shark. It was the biggest shark they had ever seen. And the most frightening thing was that he was moving slowly, almost menacingly, towards the boat. Sharks, however, are known to be fluid and fast. He was visibly slow, as if he was in a lot of pain. The fisherman, after recovering from the initial shock, took a closer look. The shark had a giant bulge on its belly, a strange discovery for sure. Note that the fishermen's boats were also too shallow for a shark of this size to be spotted. Was he moving slowly because he wasn't used to being in shallow water? As the shark continued to slowly circle the ship, the fishermen decided the best thing to do would be to call a veterinarian who could help them. The vet says the shark could be pregnant and about to give birth near the shore. To confirm the veterinarian's suspicions, the fishermen had to take on a dangerous task. The professional asked the fisherman to find out exactly where the protuberance is located on the body of this animal, but to do this, the shark must be put on land. Most fishermen were hesitant about whether they should or could actually do this. What if the shark attacks them? That's when one of them takes control of the situation. The brave fisherman decides that he will put himself in the most dangerous place to keep others safe. Then, two other brave fishermen decide to pull the shark's tail to try to stretch it. Luck was on their side. The head is a little away from the tip of the tail, so the risk of biting is low. Especially with how slow the shark was moving. However, the fishermen still did not want to take any risks and took important additional safety measures. The two men tried to equip themselves with the strongest materials they can find, while another fisherman joins them to distract a shark when necessary. Everything goes as planned. There was nothing to worry about, as the shark did not resist and allowed itself to be stretched almost completely. It's becoming more and more obvious that something is seriously wrong with this animal. Anglers can now clearly see where the lump is on the body's body. The shark obviously swallowed something it shouldn't have and likely needed immediate surgery to survive. There was no time to lose. Unfortunately, the fishermen didn't know exactly what to do, so they asked the vet what they should do. The veterinarian decided to go to the scene immediately. After 3 hours, she finally arrived, managing to lay eyes on the shark, but the fishermen are starting to worry.